My name is Lisa Maria, and my lifelong dream was to move across the world and live somewhere in a cultural context that was very different from my home in the United States. That was one dream. And then the other dream was to become a coach and really inspire, motivate, and support other women in reaching their dreams as well. I live in Dubai. I accomplished that dream. I moved 7,000 miles away from home on short notice. The biggest challenges for me are never external. Even though the external challenge might look like the biggest challenge, really I know it's what's going on inside of me. So for me, it's been fear, doubt, and procrastination are always the biggest challenges. I find myself defaulting and reverting into those patterns whenever I know I'm about to make a big leap, and I have to those are the challenges I have to work through. When I do that, the external circumstances, I've found those mountains always move themselves. I think for me, success really began to come more easily when I realized that the obstacles are really inside of me. I was very focused for a long time on the external obstacles, on making plans to reach my goals, on figuring out how to ensure that I could get past certain external barriers, time, money, knowledge, all these different obstacles I perceived in my way. But what made the difference for me was realizing that those things at the end of the day weren't the real issue. And so learning how to listen to my fear, listen to my doubt, listen to my procrastination, but not obey them, not listen to them, but not take their advice was really critical. Those voices I found don't go away completely, but my interaction with them has changed. And when I changed my relationship with them and said, thanks for your input, but I'm gonna keep on walking, I'm gonna keep on doing what I want to do, that's when I really saw the change, because then I quit stopping right at the edge of everything that I wanted to do. I would come up to the edge and I would pull back. And so that action of saying, I'm going to walk past that, and I'm just going to keep on walking and not listen to what's going on inside of me, all those voices, all those worries, all those stories about what could happen, that's when I began to see radical change. I think the first one is that your limits are movable. Your limits will move with you as you keep moving. So whatever you see as a limit today, if you keep walking, the limit will move. And suddenly it won't be where it was before, which has been tremendously helpful for me. The second thing is that you are not your thoughts and you are not your emotions. So when you learn to step outside of your thoughts and emotions and observe them, you can stop being controlled by them, and you can start to gently and lovingly guide them in the direction you actually want them to go. And the third thing is that we have this idea that it should be idea, plan, and then action is sort of the three steps we see anytime we want to make something happen. But for me, I've learned that idea, action, and then plan is actually the best way to get anything done. Because if I stay in planning mode too long, I will sit there forever and I will never take action. But if I take some inspired and courageous action and then figure out where it's gotten me, that actually helps me to create a more flexible plan to reach my goals. And plus, I've already created some momentum. Honestly, variety and uncertainty keep me going. I used to be a person who was very attached to certainty and routine. I didn't like to take risks. I didn't like to break out. But when I learned to make friends with uncertainty and to even desire and value having more variety in my life, now when I get up in the morning knowing that I don't know how it's all going to work out, and I don't know how my day is going to happen, or how my month or even how my year is going to go, actually gets me excited. The curiosity of discovering what life is going to send actually now fuels me rather than causing me to fear as it did in the past. Honestly, community of women. I have this whole season for me has been about creating more community, not just going out and finding more community where I live here in Dubai, but creating community with other women. And I'm realizing now that as I find and meet more and more and more women who are committed to overcoming their fear, doubt, and procrastination, as we create more community, it helps all of us achieve our individual goals, and also we collectively create a culture of action and achievement and fulfillment really of our dreams. So that's what I need in this season more than anything else. I would like to say that the only thing always that ever stands between us and our dreams is us. And also that I always like to say the moment is now, which sounds kind of cliche, but when you think about it, so often we spend our time living in the past or we spend our time living in the future. Neither one of those which we actually have. The only moment we have is now. And there are so many times, even throughout my day now, where I'm tempted to put off a task, put off a phone call, put off a meeting or something like that. And I have to constantly bring myself back and say, this is the only moment I have. And I won't know what beautiful thing can come out of that, and that idea or that meeting or that connection until I actually do it. So whatever it is you want to do today, or next week or next month or next year, your moment is now. And what you do now will directly determine whether or not you experience your dream now and in the future.